Welcome back. My name is Dak, and in this video we are reading the Boy Scouts Handbook, 11th edition. We're on chapter 14, Getting Along with Others. I also like this chapter. This is another one that I think is incredibly important because it talks about, actually interacting with other people, which is one of the most useful skills that I think young men should learn. Back when I was a young man, learn today. It's one of those universally applicable things. So let's dig into it. Extending friendship and understanding to others opens a world of fresh ideas, experiences, and cultures. Scouting offers guidance on getting along with others in ways that are healthy and fun. Getting along with others. Most of us are surrounded by people. Every day we have opportunities to be with others at school, at work, and at home. Sharing experiences with them can be a wonderful part of being alive. Getting along is also the foundation for a community, a country, and a world where people can live together in peace. Over 270 million Americans share our nation. There are nearly 6 billion people on the planet, all with their own needs, hopes, and dreams. Learning about the extraordinary mix of cultures, histories, and religions can be great fun and can lead to a deeper understanding of other people. Yeah, those numbers are very outdated, basically 30 years later, but it's like those numbers still apply. They're just astronomically hard to imagine. Meeting people. Have you ever moved to a different neighborhood or started classes at a new school? Yes, I definitely have. Have you gone to the first day of practice with a sports team you didn't know, or showed up for a meeting of a scout troop you've never attended before? Not knowing anyone can be scary. But remember how good you felt when someone said hello and started to show you around. Suddenly, you were no longer a stranger. You knew that people valued you and were happy you were there. You can be the one who takes the first step toward welcoming another person. Is there a new student at your school, someone attending your church for the first time, or a family that has just moved into your neighborhood? Introducing yourself and asking people about themselves is an act of kindness that can help them feel at home. Meeting people is a skill that grows with practice. You might be uneasy about stepping forward to greet someone you don't know. Talking to a person of a different race, religion, or generation might at first seem awkward, but others are probably just as shy as you are. Focus on making someone feel welcome, and you can open the door to understanding and friendship. Yeah, for me, I was deathly afraid of people growing up. I was super shy. The good scout is always at work, working to improve himself and to improve the daily lot of others. Handbook for Boys, 1st edition, 1911. Listening to others. Sometimes we don't listen very well. Your little sister might be learning how to play soccer, for instance, and is eager to tell you about it. At first you think it's boring. You already know how to play. But then you pay attention and think about what your sister is saying. She wants to share her excitement with you and to gain your support. Maybe you can go outside with her and kick the ball back and forth. It's enjoyable for both of you, and you can give her pointers on playing the game. By taking time to really listen, you are building her confidence and strengthening the bonds in your family. Listening is just as important when someone is angry. Perhaps a friend is mad at you because of something you did. Instead of getting mad at yourself, wait until both of you are calm and then listen carefully to what your friend is saying. Maybe you are wrong and can make things better by apologizing. Even if you are right, your friend might have misunderstood something you said or did. Or it could be that your friend actually was upset over something else and took it out on you. By listening rather than returning his anger, you are helping to improve the situation. And one of the most important paradigm shifting, life changing moments for me was when I really started to understand how to listen. I like the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey that says, seek to understand before being understood. Changed my whole outlook on life. My interruptions went down. My ability to give other people, verbal oxygen improved. Huge part of life. Listening to others, something I wish I had done earlier. Choosing friends. Your friends are among the most important people in your life. You enjoy being with them and going places together. They understand you. You depend on them to be there for you through good times and times that are not so good. Choose friends whose values you admire, but don't turn down the chance to get to know someone because he or she is not like the rest of your friends. Differences of race, culture, and language might keep some people at a distance. For others, physical disabilities can be a barrier to friendships. Look beyond the differences that might separate you from others and accept them for who they are. You might be surprised how much you have in common and how much your differences can enrich friendships. So I feel like the problem with adulthood now is you can be friendly towards people, but you really don't make new friends. It's hard to make new friends. You have to have, proximity. You have to be close to them. You got to spend a lot of time with people, and you got to be going through like similar life events. When you're a kid, that's like your whole life. You go to every grade, everyone around you is more or less in a similar stage of life. You're around each other a lot. You have all that going on. You become an adult, and you don't. You go to work mostly, and you might have work friends, but they're oftentimes in vastly different stages of life than you, and you work together, and when you're out of work, most people don't want to go hang out. So I don't know, I feel like all my friends were made when I was a child, and it's hard to make new friends as an adult. I mean, I can be friendly, but making real friends is difficult. Peer pressure. Once in a while, you might discover that a few people you know are using tobacco, alcohol, or drugs, the cool kids. Or they might be cheating on tests, taking things that don't belong to them, or being unkind to someone. They might pressure you to join them, even though you know what they are doing is wrong. When you refuse, they might say that you can't be part of their group, or that they won't be friends with you anymore. But real friends would not want you to do anything that could put you and others at risk. If the people you spend time with are smoking, drinking, getting high, or doing anything else that is unwise, you don't have to go along with them. You might need to look for new friends who are interested in healthier activities. Don't worry, they're out there. Be true to your beliefs, and you will find them. All right, so I want to say a couple things here at this point. Number one, growing up, I always heard if anyone ever offers you something to drink or offers you something to smoke, dare to say no, just say no. I felt like the adult leaders in my life, they made all these people sound so generous. Like, here you go, here's something to drink. Here you go, here's free drugs. I never in my life was ever offered anything like that for free. Never had. Where are all these generous drug dealers? No, it's always like comes with a catch, or like, I've always wanted to have that big experience. Oh, I was offered a joint and I said no. But I've never really been offered anything. Still looking for that experience in my life. The other thing I'd say about, I don't think you should turn your back. The thing above, find people that are different than you, the paragraph above, I think that's true. If someone's doing the bad things, the answer might be to distance yourself. The answer might be to spend more time with them. Maybe you can be the positive influence in their life. I think the real determination is, are you being dragged down, or are you pulling them up? In order to pull someone up, like from a ledge physically, you need to have your feet planted in firm ground. And I feel like there's just so many symbols in that type of object lesson. If you can have your feet planted in firm ground, you can lift people up. But if you don't have a firm foundation, if you're not solidly rooted, then it's easy for them to drag you down. Anyway, that's just food for thought. Moving on. Your family. Family is a word that means belonging, support, and love. For many Scouts, a family is made up of parents, brothers, and sisters, all under the same roof. Grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins might live nearby. There are other kinds of families too. Perhaps you live in a family with one parent, or you share time with your father and mother who live in different places. That was my experience. I'm the child of divorce. Your grandparents and other relatives might live far away, even in other countries. Yeah, my grandparents lived in California and Virginia. Different states than where I lived. Maybe your family has no parents at all, but instead is made up of relatives or guardians who want the best for you. The most important thing is that they care for each other and want to share their lives with you. That's a big assumption. Of course, there might be times when you feel that others in your family don't understand you. You might disagree with some of their ways of doing things. As you grow older, you will want to be more independent. All of the changes you are going through as you grow and mature can cause strain at home, but you can make the most of family life by being patient and putting energy into developing healthy relationships with family members. For instance, you might have a curfew that gives you the freedom to explore, but within reasonable limits. Now and then, you and your parents or guardians might discuss family rules to see if they are fair and if you are doing your part to follow them. By respecting those guidelines, you are proving that you are responsible, and your parents or guardian might respond by gradually pushing back the boundaries they have set. Family members can also offer solutions to problems you are facing. You might have difficulty with a subject in school, or you might not understand why your parents are acting in a certain way. If you ask them, your parents and your older brothers and sisters might be able to help. Consider earning the Family Life Merit Badge. It will help you better understand your family, your role in it, and how important you are to other family members. As a scout, you will learn skills that will make you even better qualified to help at home than you were before joining. If someone in the family gets sick, you know how to get a doctor. If someone has an accident, you can give first aid. If a package needs to be tied up, you know the knot for doing it. A package needs to be tied. What a silly nonsense. If the family has a picnic, you can make the fire and broil the steak. There are dozens of things you can do for the family that will make life so much easier. Boy Scout Handbook, 6th edition, 1959. Family time. The demands of school, scouts, sports, friends, and other activities might fill most of your days and evenings. Older family members often have jobs and projects of their own. Although you live in the same house, you and others in your family might be rushing past one another with hardly a word. Make a real effort to spend time together, even if that means scheduling an hour now and then and writing it down on a calendar so everyone can plan around it. Sit down for a meal together, play a game, or go for a walk. The activity is not important. What matters is that you share time together. Family jobs. On a patrol campout, you pitch in to set up tents, cook meals, and leave a clean campsite. Doing your part goes a long way toward making an adventure a success. The same is true at home. Keeping a household running smoothly takes a lot of work. The more you help out, the better. You might already keep your room neat, do your own laundry, care for pets, and wash dishes after meals. Of course, you don't have to wait to be asked to do family jobs. Look around for what needs to be done and help do it. A part-time job can help you learn work habits as you earn money to pay some of your own expenses. However, your most important job for the next few years is to get a good education. Manage your time and your spending habits so that schoolwork always comes first. Your family and scouting. When you join the Boy Scouts of America, your whole family can become a part of scouting. Your relatives can attend special scout gatherings. Some of them might help run the troop or assist with special events. Many people want you to have all the valuable experiences that scouting offers and to reach the goals you set for yourself. By supporting you, each of them can share in the spirit of scouting. Caring for younger children. One of your family jobs might be looking after younger brothers and sisters. Perhaps you'll be asked to take care of other children in the neighborhood too. Okay, no, young men usually do not babysit. That's just like a big no-no. Historically, I would say that by far and large, statistical babysitters are young women, not young men. Be aware of the ways you treat people younger or smaller than yourself. Everyone deserves respect. Sometimes it can seem easy to respond to the poor behavior of others by name-calling or physical force, but you should always find other ways to resolve conflicts. Before taking responsibility for young children, find out the following. Know where their parents or guardians can be reached. Know a neighbor who will lend a hand if you need it. Have emergency phone numbers ready in case of illness or accident. Ask if the children are to eat, and if so, what they are supposed to eat. Ask what time the children are to go to bed. Ask about the use of televisions, computers, stereos, or radios. While children are in your care, remember these rules. Keep children out of danger areas. Lock the doors. Don't open them for anyone unless you know the person. After the children are in bed, check every half hour to be sure they are all right. Stay awake until a parent or guardian returns. Taking care of yourself when you are alone. Discuss with your family what you should do when you must be home alone. That might happen once in a while when your parents or guardian are gone for an evening. If they work, you might be alone every day after school. Ask your parents or guardian what you should do if someone knocks on your door and wants to come in while you are alone. In most cases, it's best to leave the door locked and ask the visitor to wait outside while you call one of the numbers on your list. Decide how you should answer if a stranger calls on the phone. A good response is this: "My parent can't come to the phone right now. Would you like to leave your name and a message?" Your parents and guardian might set other guidelines for you to follow when you are in the house by yourself. They might ask that you not invite friends over during those hours, or that you call if you want to leave. I feel like when I was a young man, I said that type of stuff all the time. I feel like we don't do that as much anymore. People don't just drop by either. It's like you call and people all have cell phones. It's like we don't have the same customs and rules anymore. Make a list of emergency phone numbers and tape it near the telephone. Nope, save it in your cell phone. Write down the numbers for general first aid emergencies, then add the following: parent or guardian at work, family friend, nearest relative, neighbor. The list will give you plenty of trusted people you can call if you need help. Sexual responsibility. Ooh, all right, fun stuff. As you grow into manhood, you are maturing in many remarkable ways. You're becoming stronger, wiser, and better able to make good decisions. Young women you know are also maturing both physically and emotionally. Your relationships with them will become closer and more meaningful, both to you and to them. You are maturing sexually too. The ability to father a child is a responsibility with powerful consequences in your life and in the lives of others. The choices you make require your very best judgment. It's important to remember that sex is never the most grown-up part of a relationship. It is never a test of manliness. True maturity comes from acting responsibly in the following ways. Hold on, before we get there, I think one of the big issues is laws in society do not match biology. By the time an individual is physically capable of fathering a child, they are far from what society and law would say legally or socially really responsible. We have this idea that you can't consent until you're 18 years old, until you're no longer a minor. But physically, that's obviously not the case. Anyway, I think that's what causes a lot of the friction in this area. Moving back to the book. Your responsibility, young women. Whenever you like to be with someone, you want the best of that person. You want the best for that person. A healthy relationship is supportive and equal. You can have a terrific time together, enjoying life and growing socially and emotionally. However, the difficulties created by an unplanned pregnancy can be enormous. Don't burden someone you care for with a child neither of you is ready to bear. Teenage pregnancies are super down nowadays compared to back then. I think in the 90s and early 2000s. I think it has to do a lot with the phone, and it's just a different time. But yeah, teenage pregnancies are going down statistically. Your responsibility as a future parent. When you are fully grown and have become secure in yourself and in your relationship with another person, the two of you might decide to marry and become parents. That is a wonderful choice full of challenges and rewards. By waiting until you are prepared, you can give a child a close, loving family in which to grow. Your responsibility in your beliefs. For the followers of most religions, sex should take place only between people who are married to each other. To do otherwise might cause feelings of guilt and loss. While waiting until after marriage provides a foundation for a lasting relationship and a strong family, abstinence until marriage is a very wise course of action. I agree. I like abstinence. I think it's the only real way to avoid a lot of the problems. However, I am also a huge fan of more education about sex, especially at this age of maturing young men. Your responsibility to yourself. An understanding of wholesome sexual behavior can bring lifelong happiness. Irresponsibility or ignorance, however, can cause a lifetime of regret. AIDS and other diseases spread by sexual contact can ruin your health and that of others. An unplanned pregnancy before you are ready could severely limit your chances for education, occupations, and travel. You owe it to yourself to enter adulthood without extra hurdles to overcome. Learn what is right. Your religious leaders can give you moral guidance. Your parents or guardian or other responsible adults can provide the facts about sex that you must follow. I think right there, that's a good point. You push it off onto the parents or guardians and other responsible adults. The problem is we don't actually have a unified definition. People don't agree on what healthy sexual behavior looks like. We don't actually have a consensus. And that's probably the reason why sex ed classes falter, is because we don't actually have a definition for it or a consensus belief on it. And then there's a lot of parents and adults that shun that responsibility. They don't want to have that conversation. It's difficult. They don't do it right. And they all say different things. And so you end up with this wide variety of different belief systems. If you have questions about growing up, about relationships, or about sex, ask. They put that in bold too. Talk with your parents, religious leaders, teachers, or scoutmaster. They want what is best for you. Let them know your concerns. Yeah, don't talk to your teachers about sex. Don't talk to your scoutmaster about sex. That's just ripe for getting them in trouble. Abused. Most relationships with others can be warm and open. That is because they are built on trust. A pat on the back, a hug of encouragement, or a firm handshake are ways we can show people we care about them. However, it is a sad fact that some adults and teenagers use their size and their power over others to abuse them. You need to know about abuse so that you will understand what to do if you are ever threatened. Those who abuse young people know they are doing something wrong. They usually try to keep their actions a secret from other adults. They might frighten their victims to prevent them from telling anyone what is happening. They might try to make the abused person feel that he or she is to blame. No one should live in fear of abuse. You do not have to let people touch you in ways you find uncomfortable. If you are ever asked to do something you know is wrong, you have the right to refuse. There's a documentary that came out recently on Netflix about sex abuse scandals that happen in Boy Scouts. Highly recommend. I think it's for anyone that wants to be honest and take a look at scouting and its history, has to check that documentary out. Protecting yourself from sexual abuse. Most sexual abuse can be prevented if young people know the following 3 R's. Recognize, resist, report. Oh, I don't know. I don't like the idea of putting the responsibility on the children, on the scouts themselves. I mean, yes, you should arm them, but it's like, I don't know. Adult predators are adult predators. Yeah. Recognize. At the same time, young people should be aware of dangers and should do their best to avoid them, and these are not bad ideas. Recognizing a situation that could become sexual abuse can help you get away before you are in serious danger. People who sexually abuse young people are called molesters. Most often, the molester is known by his or her victim. The molester might be anyone: a family member, school teacher, religious leader, or youth group leader. An adult attempting sexual abuse might begin by touching you in ways that are confusing. He or she might try to touch your groin area and pretend it was an accident. You might be asked to pose for photographs in your underwear or swimming suit, and then in no clothing at all. Some adults or older youths might try to use your natural curiosity about sex as an opportunity to attempt sexual abuse. Sex is a normal bodily function you need to understand. Be on guard around anyone who makes it seem dirty or secretive. Resist. If anyone ever attempts to do something to your body that makes you feel bad or that you know is wrong, you have the right to stop them. Run, shout, or make a scene in public to protect yourself. Faced with resistance, most molesters will back off. Oh, I'd like to see some statistics on that. I'd love to see if that's true or not. Report. Anytime you believe that someone has tried to abuse you or someone else, report it. Talk to a trusted adult or call an abuse hotline. You can get the number from the phone book or by dialing an operator. Abuse is an adult-sized problem. By talking about it with adults, you can let them solve it. For more information on dealing with abuse, you and your parent or guardian can read together the pamphlet How to Protect Your Children from Child Abuse, a parent's guide, found inside the cover of this handbook. I feel like historically child abuse was even more rampant. I mean, you go back hundreds of years. I mean, there were laws against, doing incest and stuff. Why? Because those things happened. Those actual cases happened. People left alone, on isolated rural areas did terrible, terrible things to each other. To have a friend, be one. The BSA has always encouraged its members to be independent, to stand on their own 2 feet, and to use good judgment rather than being swayed by peer pressure. Trusting yourself is an important quality to have, but just as important is the willingness to get along with others. The Scout Law reminds you to be friendly and helpful. When you help others, always remember the rules of safety. The Scout Oath and Law do not require you to put yourself in danger. You should discuss with your parents how to be a good Scout and be safe. A Scout is courteous, too, as well as cheerful and kind. These points of the Scout Law provide clear guidance for meeting new people, developing friendships, appreciating differences, and playing an active role in your family and community. The first Scout Field Book put it this way: If you see a Scout badge on a boy's coat lapel, give the Scout salute and watch him smile. Maybe you can be of assistance to him. He may be a stranger in your town. By greeting him, you have made him feel that he is not alone. We all depend on others for connection, fellowship, support, and love. When you do everything you can to help others feel appreciated, you will find that you are also not alone. I have never in my life ever seen a Boy Scout badge on a boy's lapel and then doing a salute. That seems super odd. But that's it for chapter 14. If you made it this far in the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Share your thoughts on some of the controversial topics. Leave a comment and engage. All right. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.